Chapter 1: Global Patterns Unveiled. Imagine standing on a vast, open plain, with the wind gently rustling the grass beneath your feet. As you gaze out into the distance, you notice something remarkable: a series of large, stone structures stretching far across the landscape. These structures have stood for thousands of years, and they bear a striking resemblance to ancient sites found halfway across the globe. At this moment, a curious thought might cross your mind. How is it possible that similar structures appear in lands separated by vast oceans? This intriguing question has fascinated many during their exploration of ancient civilizations around the world, from the pyramids of Giza in Egypt to the expansive stone circles in Great Britain, from the step pyramids of Mesoamerica to the mysterious stone heads of Easter Island. Humans have built similar massive structures. How did ancient people, who seemingly had no contact with one another, come up with such remarkably similar architectural feats? To understand this, let's dive into some facts and theories rooted in history and science. One of the key factors might be the fundamental needs that all human societies share. Throughout history, large stones and complex structures have often served religious, astronomical, or social purposes. Many civilizations used the alignment of structures with stars or solstices as an essential part of their spiritual and agricultural life, ensuring their survival and success. For instance, the Great Pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge in England, and Chichen Itza in Mexico all have astronomical alignments. This universal concern with the cosmos likely inspired similar architectural solutions. Additionally, the materials and technologies available played a crucial role. Across different continents, people often utilized what was readily available in their environment. The technologies used to construct stone structures are surprisingly advanced, involving precise cutting and placement of huge stones that were often quarried from great distances. This reflects an understanding of mathematics, engineering, and organization. Despite the lack of modern machines, these ancient engineers shared a common strategy. They leveraged human ingenuity to overcome the challenges of their resources. One might also consider the distribution of these elements. The use of certain materials, such as stone, is a practical choice given its durability and availability in many regions. Researchers have noted how, globally, societies have designed structures to withstand the test of time, which explains why stone remnants are so prevalent. This is why, today, these enduring monuments continue to capture human imagination and remind us of an interconnected past. Some intriguing discoveries support the theory that ancient peoples had more interaction than previously believed. For example, genetic studies and archaeological findings suggest that there might have been more contact between distant populations through land bridges, seafaring, or even early trade routes. The Austronesians, a group known for their seafaring skills, spread from Asia through the Pacific, demonstrating the capability for widespread maritime exploration long before modern navigation tools existed. As archaeologists and historians uncover more evidence, we gain insight into potential cultural exchanges and migrations between societies once thought to be isolated. Studies of ancient artifacts and writings reveal shared symbols and technologies, further fueling the idea that ancient peoples communicated, traded, or even shared common myths and stories. Such cultural exchanges could explain why similar practices and designs emerged independently in different locations. While it's important to be cautious of wild speculations, it's fascinating to think about how these formidable structures connect our human story. Each site holds a piece of the puzzle, offering clues about how ancient people lived, what they valued, and how they viewed the world. Expert opinions suggest that examining these findings through multidisciplinary lenses, such as archaeology, anthropology, and astronomy, helps piece together the true narrative of human ingenuity and persistence. Imagine, for a moment, the creativity and collaboration required in an age with no cranes or computer-aided design tools. These constructions were more than mere shelters. They were messages across time, speaking to future generations of a sophisticated people capable of incredible feats. They invite us to ask, how did humanity, spread across distant lands, converge upon such similar paths of development? The fascinating reality is that these shared human endeavors offer a window into some of the grand patterns of our past. Through these structures, we learn that despite the differences in language, landscape, and culture, there existed a shared human quest for understanding. These creations remind us that, even when separated by great distances and natural obstacles, ancient civilizations pursued a common human drive to leave a lasting mark on the world, much like we do today. As we continue to explore these ancient mysteries, let's keep asking questions, supporting curiosity with research, and marveling at the interconnected nature of our world. Each discovery adds a layer to our understanding, revealing that the ancient architects of these magnificent structures shared not only a planet, but also a remarkable vision for humanity's shared heritage. Isn't it wonderfully astonishing to think that these ancient structures link us across time and space, urging us to uncover more of our shared global legacy? Through this lens, the quest for knowledge becomes as timeless as the structures that inspire it. Chapter 2: Architects of the Ancients. Imagine for a moment you are walking through a lush, dense jungle. As you push aside thick leaves and vines, you suddenly come face to face with a towering stone structure. Its walls are decorated with intricate carvings, and although the jungle has tried to reclaim it, the structure stands firm, much like it has for centuries. Now, imagine being able to find similar structures on distant continents, each one exuding a similar aura of mystery and sophistication. How is it possible that areas separated by vast oceans and different environments have such strikingly similar constructions? Could there be a shared thread connecting these feats of ancient engineering? Our journey starts in the lush forests of Central America, where the ancient city of Tikal stands as one of the great cities of the Maya civilization. The Grand Pyramids rise above the treetops, visible from miles away. Built over 1,000 years ago, these structures are a testament to the Mayas' architectural genius. But it's not just the structures in Tikal that leave archaeologists in awe. Halfway across the globe, in the heart of Indonesia, a similar temple complex known as Borobudur emerges from its own verdant surroundings. While the Maya pyramids are stepped, the Borobudur is a grand stupa filled with tiered levels. Yet, both places serve as spiritual and celestial centers, demonstrating advanced architectural techniques while echoing each other's presence. Of course, one might say structures such as these just reflect universal needs, like religious practices or societal hierarchy. But as researchers dig deeper into these ancient sites, they discover striking parallels in mathematical designs and symbolic uses. In both Tikal and Borobudur, the alignment with astronomical events and cycles imply these structures were not just built for beauty or power. They were a way to connect with the cosmos, a practice that is also found in the ancient city of Teotihuacan in present-day Mexico. The alignment of the Sunday Pyramid with solar events is similarly detailed in the architectural layouts of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, or even the megalithic structures at Stonehenge in the UK. But what truly ignites the curiosity of historians and architects alike is the possibility that these civilizations shared some knowledge, or were influenced by a similar source despite not having direct contacts. Scholars often look at ancient migration patterns, the spread of agriculture, or the exchange of goods as ways civilizations could subtly influence each other. The spread of certain crops, like corn and potatoes across continents, indicates that human beings have been remarkably effective at sharing stories and techniques, even in ancient times. This quest to understand interconnected designs takes us to Africa, particularly to the remarkable ruins of Great Zimbabwe, built with massive granite blocks, carefully fitted without mortar. This city complex thrived between the 11th and 15th centuries. Across the oceans, the Inca city of Machu Picchu employs similar dry stone construction techniques, though separated by a continent and an ocean. The concept behind using interlocking stones to withstand earthquakes speaks volumes about how engineering solutions developed independently, yet with similar principles. When discussing these connections, archaeologists, historians, and architects attempt to piece together the puzzle using technology to aid their insights. Technologies like LiDAR, which allows them to see through thick jungle canopies, have uncovered many hidden wonders and shown how achieved agricultural brilliance might have indirectly supported widespread knowledge exchanges. With a more comprehensive view from the skies, old roads, trade routes, and city layouts emerge, painting a larger picture of human innovation and interaction. Moreover, it's vital to consider oral traditions and the passing of knowledge through storytelling. Many ancient cultures, including the Australian indigenous peoples, have kept rich histories and tales that contain references to real locations and events, showing an encyclopedic knowledge passed down through generations. These serve as cultural blueprints that parallel architectural ones and provide insight into ancient connections. Returning to our imaginary journey, it's eye-opening to recognize that all these structures, in their grandeur and mystery, point back to a fundamental human trait, the innate desire to reach for the skies, both literally and metaphorically. Like oceans that tie different lands together, so too does architecture form a web connecting humanity's past, innovations, and achievements. However, as much as we can marvel at the coincidences and correlations between these ancient architectures, each site carries a unique story, deeply rooted in the culture and people who built them. While theories about shared ancient knowledge or common inspirations are fascinating to explore, they are reminders that it often takes the entire lifetime of a civilization to erect such wonders. In this worldwide journey of exploration and discovery, the structures of the past encourage us to ask questions not only about who we were, but also about how interconnected humanity has been. And when we look at these majestic creations, standing still and silent, they quietly whisper stories of our ancestors' dreams, passions, and enduring quests to understand the world, and perhaps that's the real mystery waiting to be uncovered. Chapter 3. Cross-Continental Echoes. As we journey across the globe, we find remarkable structures, some of which are strikingly similar despite being on entirely different continents. These resemblances have puzzled scientists, historians, and archaeologists for years. How could ancient people, separated by vast oceans and without means of quick communication, possibly build such similar wonders? The more we explore, the more we uncover astonishing patterns glimmering across the ages. Let's start with an intriguing case: pyramids. Egypt's pyramids are arguably the most famous. The Great Pyramid of Giza, in particular, has been at the center of human fascination for centuries. However, if we venture over to the Americas, particularly in Mexico, we find the pyramids of the Maya and the Aztecs. From the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan to the towering structures at Tikal, These impressive edifices bear a striking resemblance in shape and purpose to those found along the banks of the Nile. But why did so many civilizations build pyramids? One idea is that pyramids are inherently stable structures. A large base that tapers to a point or plateau atop makes them able to stand the test of time and the elements. Some researchers suggest that the stepped pyramids, in particular, arose due to the practical challenge of building ever taller structures in a time before cranes and modern machinery. Digging into this question, ancient builders across continents may have all been motivated by similar needs: a desire to reach toward the heavens, to honor their deities, and commemorate their leaders. Many ancient cultures associated height and the sky with divinity, so building structures that reached upward was often seen as a sacred endeavor. The uniformity in shape might also reflect a shared understanding or discovery of basic structural physics, even without direct contact. Still, similarities like these invite us to wonder if deeper connections exist. In the 20th century, historian and scholar Thor Heyerdahl proposed a theory that the oceans were less of barriers and more of conduits for potential contact. His famous Kon-Tiki expedition in 1947 aimed to demonstrate that ancient people could have traveled vast distances by sea. The journey showed that with simple raft technology, oceanic travel was indeed feasible. However, linking similar structures across continents purely by potential travel would be overly simplistic. We must also consider the rich diversity of human creativity and necessity. While those who built Stonehenge in England used enormous stones called megaliths, similar methods and monumental stone structures can be found throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa, like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey and Nabta Playa in the Egyptian desert. While each is unique, they share a common trait: aligning with the stars or other celestial phenomena. These alignments hint at a shared obsession with the cosmos. Our ancestors watched the skies closely because tracking the movement of celestial bodies was vital for survival, helping with everything from navigation to deciding when to plant and harvest crops. Understanding the stars and seasons could very well have bred a kind of global, though uncoordinated, architectural expansion. Modern archaeological studies increasingly use technologies like ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR to uncover previously unseen structures from dense jungles to vast deserts. In 2018, using LiDAR technology, archaeologists uncovered thousands of structures beneath a Guatemalan rainforest stretch. These recent discoveries fuel the quest to understand these cross-cultural commonalities. One fascinating find beneath these forest canopies was the sophisticated roads that connected ancient Mayan cities. Their craftsmanship shows not just architectural competence, but hints at a system much like Roman roads, which facilitated exchange and communication. As trade routes flourished, the spread of ideas via merchants, artisans, and travelers would have similarly blazed trails, metaphorically and literally, across continents. Archaeologists continue to piece together the remnants of ancient trading networks. Known civilizations had long-distance trade links, such as the Silk Road, which connected the East and West, mingling goods, people, and ideas. Precious materials, like obsidian and jade, alongside knowledge, traveled thousands of miles. Could it be that architectural techniques were shared in this silent exchange? As we delve deeper into these mysteries, we must remember the role of the environment. Mother Nature has an undeniable hand in shaping societal evolution. Climatic forces have influenced migration and construction, pressing communities to build in particular ways to withstand natural challenges. Where dense forests, flat plains, or rugged mountains defined their silhouettes, societies adapted accordingly, modifying perhaps similar foundational ideas to suit their specific landscapes. These patterns point not toward a single reason, but a tapestry of causes, each thread a testament to human ingenuity facing similar challenges with diverse solutions. While some scholars lean towards parallel evolution suggesting similarities arose independently, others continue to explore all possible connections to unravel these echoes of our shared human journey. Every dig, scan, and discovery pushes the boundaries of our understanding, inviting us to ask not just how these structures came to be, but what these patterns say about us as a species. Why do we see such profound echoes around the globe, and what more can they unfold about humanity's common story? As we lay more pieces of this ancient puzzle, the answers may one day be as enduring and impressive as the structures themselves. Chapter 4: The Mystery of Similarity. Imagine standing in a vast, open field, feeling the gentle breeze on your face, looking up at structures that look remarkably familiar yet distinctly unique in their own way. You might be in Europe, Asia, the Americas, Africa, or Australia, but there's a peculiar sense of déjà vu in these architectural wonders that rise around the globe. Could there be a reason why similar structures appear on every continent? This is an intriguing question that has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and curious minds alike for generations. Let's start by considering pyramids. These impressive, triangular structures can be found in both Egypt and Mexico. Yet what's truly mind-boggling is that they were built by civilizations that never met nor exchanged ideas. The Great Pyramid of Giza and the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan are thousands of miles apart, built by societies with distinct cultures. How is it that they both chose such a specific design? One theory is that the pyramid shape is simply efficient. Pyramids are stable structures that can be built tall without complex engineering, using only the tools available to early civilizations. The wide base strongly supports the weight above it, a straightforward solution for ambitious builders. But does that fully explain the similarity? Some experts point out that these cultures had an extraordinary fascination with the sky, often aligning their pyramids with constellations or solstices. Perhaps the shared shapes reflect a universal human desire to connect the earthly with the celestial. Now let's take a little journey to the stone circles like Stonehenge in England or the megalithic sites in Africa. These standing stones are another striking example of parallel structures found continents apart. In Europe, Stonehenge's origins are still a mystery, but recent findings suggest it served as a kind of ancient calendar, marking the solstices and perhaps used for ceremonial purposes. Similarly, half a world away, the ancient Nabatean people in modern-day Jordan built structures aligned with the sun's position throughout the year. The fascinating thing is that different cultures often found natural stones and transported them over great distances, not for practical construction reasons, but for spiritual or ceremonial purposes. This speaks to a common human tendency to link structure with ritual significance, reflecting a shared thread of symbolic thought. Researchers speculate that this could be evidence of a basic human need to give shape to the world, ordering chaos into a comprehensible map of meaning. Cities laid out in grid patterns also appear in various unconnected places throughout history. Ancient Mesopotamia featured such a design, and so did the Indus Valley, as well as the later cities of the Aztecs. This kind of urban planning made it easier to organize life. A straightforward layout allowed for smooth transport of goods, clear routes for communication, and controlled expansion. Today's cities still adhere to these principles, revealing the longevity of these ideas. Interestingly, some researchers argue that the grid pattern could also express something deeper. By creating a sense of order and easily navigating sprawling urban areas. Perhaps people found comfort or a sense of mastery over their environments. Over time, these features became a natural expression of how humans like to live, based on an underlying drive for organization. You can even find uncanny resemblances in the sculptures and carvings dotting various lands. Mystical symbols like spirals, zigzags, and circles are common in both ancient and modern art. From Aboriginal Dreamtime paintings in Australia to the petroglyphs of the American Southwest, these symbols often represented growth, life cycles, or continuity. How is it that society is so distant in time and space, developed such similar motifs? It could be that these shapes come from something innate in human neurology or perception. The way we perceive patterns or understand the world may naturally lead us to express certain shapes and ideas in artwork, irrespective of culture. This mystery of similarity invites us to ponder the connections between human beings, however wide the physical distance. It brings to mind an image of countless civilizations, each singular yet bound together by undercurrents of shared experience and thought processes. As we uncover these parallels, what emerges is a story less about copying or convergence, and more about uncovering the universal elements of the human condition. These architectural and artistic themes suggest that even when separated by ocean, mountains, or millennia, humanity is linked by common instincts and necessities. What were these people thinking and imagining when they first stood in the presence of their creations? Perhaps we share something in our curiosity and creativity, something that transcends specific cultures and times. Science tells us that humans migrated out of Africa tens of thousands of years ago, carrying with them a common ancestry. Is it possible that this shared lineage expresses itself in how we build and shape the world? Even though the deeper answers remain undiscovered, our quest to connect the dots between these scattered mysteries provides a rich tapestry for the imagination. As we study these resemblances, we continue to marvel at the creativity of ancient engineers, artists, and visionaries who sought to make sense of their worlds in ways that still resonate with us today. Such exploration inspires us to look forward as we build upon the legacies of our past. Chapter 5: Hidden Connections. The world we live in is full of mysteries, and one of the most intriguing puzzles is why people long ago built structures that seem similar across different continents. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How did people from far-off lands, who never met each other, come up with the same ideas? Well, let's dive into some fascinating discoveries that show unexpected links between far-flung cultures. We'll explore the curious parallels and learn what might be behind these. Picture this: towering pyramids reaching up towards the sky. When most people think of pyramids, images of Egypt's sandy deserts often come to mind. Yet pyramids are not only found in Egypt, they also appear in Mesoamerica, places like Mexico and Guatemala, and even other unexpected locales around the world. How did they come to share such a remarkable architectural style? The ancient Egyptians built their pyramids, such as the famous pyramids of Giza, as tombs for pharaohs, designed to help these kings in their journey into the afterlife. Interestingly, about a continent away, the Maya and Aztecs in Central America built their own versions. Their pyramids, like those at Teotihuacan or the ruins of Chichen Itza, were often used as temples for religious ceremonies. Even though they had different purposes, both cultures spent a lot of effort to construct these awe-inspiring structures, using similar geometric principles and styles. But why did such seemingly parallel developments occur? This remains a great question for historians and archaeologists. Theories abound, But one idea is that the connection lies in our human nature. Across different societies, people observed the natural form of mountains and cumulus clouds arched above them, inspiring them to build structures with similar grand shapes. From high vantage points, ancient leaders could assert their power, keep watch over great distances, and feel closer to the divine forces they worshipped. Beyond current theories about independent innovation or shared archetypes, we must also consider how information might have traveled, or at least how ideas could find fertile ground, when the means to build them were similar. It is known that similar construction methods appeared due to comparable environmental challenges and the materials available. Ancient societies everywhere needed to figure out how to move massive stones and erect structures that could withstand time, weather, and other natural forces. It's fascinating to see how different cultures solved these problems in surprisingly similar ways. Additionally, let's look at the field of astronomy and how it influenced architectural designs worldwide. Many ancient societies, from the Egyptians to the Maya, had advanced knowledge of the stars. They aligned their buildings with celestial objects, such as the periodic rising of certain stars or the sun's position during solstices and equinoxes. For instance, the Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned with the cardinal points more precisely than many modern constructions, while ancient structures like Stonehenge and Machu Picchu also reflect incredible astronomical alignments. This shared interest in the heavens might hint at a universal human tendency to seek order and meaning through celestial movements. Another compelling instance of apparent commonality is the use of motifs, such as serpents or dragons, across different cultures. The feathered serpent god, known as Quetzalcoatl to the Aztecs and Kukulkan to the Maya, bears a striking resemblance to mythical creatures in Asia, like the dragons of Chinese culture. Did these ideas somehow travel, or was there something inherently captivating about these symbols, driving diverse civilizations to incorporate similar figures into their mythology? One field offering explanations is archaeology, which investigates cultural dispersion and possible interactions between distant civilizations. Sometimes, ancient trade routes, which moved goods like obsidian, pottery, and valuable metals across continents, can help explain the exchange of technology and ideas. For example, recent findings suggest Bronze Age European traders journeyed further than we once thought, opening the possibility of a network through which people shared knowledge more extensively. Bursting with these rich connections, we also recognize our need for clarity about how these stunning parallels might have developed. This leads us to exciting technologies like DNA analysis and isotopic studies, highlighting the movement of people and cultures in ways we're just beginning to grasp. The ongoing discoveries of shared genetics between distant populations continue to expand our understanding, while we piece together some of the reasons behind similar architectural designs. Many unknowns still exist. Are there other factors we haven't considered yet that tie these ancient societies together? Future generations of researchers and adventurers, armed with ever more sophisticated tools, will likely uncover even more connections as they literally and figuratively dig deeper. There is much left to learn and explore about why these patterns emerged, with opportunities to connect the dots between ancient wisdom and our modern interpretations. In today's era of connectivity and shared information, thinking about these historical puzzles reminds us how much we as a human species have been connected through time. Even without modern communication technology, our ancestors found ways to share ideas and wonder about the world around them. Unraveling these connections, slowly and methodically, will continue to intrigue those who look up at ancient pyramids or temples and wonder about the thoughts and dreams of our long-ago ancestors who built them. Chapter 6. universal blueprints. Imagine setting out on a journey where we travel around the world, visiting ancient places that still hold on tightly to their secrets. As we wander through lands that are vast and old, we find mysterious structures in many places, grand pyramids, towering stone circles, and intricate earthworks. It seems almost like the planet itself once whispered a secret plan to the people who lived on these lands, and they all listened carefully, even though they were separated by oceans and mountains. Without modern means of communication, let's start our exploration with the majestic pyramids of Egypt. These sand-colored giants have stood tall for thousands of years, serving as silent guardians of the Nile. The Great Pyramid of Giza is perhaps the most famous of them all. Some say it's an architectural marvel, with its sides aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal points of the compass. But here's an intriguing thought. Pyramids aren't unique to Egypt. If we travel across the world to the Americas, we'll find another set of awe-inspiring stone structures. The pyramids of the Maya in Mexico, for instance, share the pyramid shape, though their steps and their purposes seem remarkably different. What led human societies, separated by so much space, to build similar shapes with such large stones? One clue might be found in the form itself. The pyramid shape is inherently stable. It's wide at the bottom and narrow at the top, which makes it an excellent choice for a large monument designed to last. When we look at ancient architecture, it's not just the end product that matters. We must also consider the process. For ancient builders, moving and stacking heavy stones required ingenuity and cooperation, resulting in a strong connection not just to the people, but the land itself. Pyramids could be innate responses to human needs for shelter, security, and continuity. Let's move our journey to Europe, where the mysterious stone circles await. Stonehenge is possibly the most famous among these. Scientists and archaeologists have studied it for centuries, marveling at the alignment of the stones, seemingly pointing to the skies. On the days of the solstices, the sun rises or sets in fascinating alignments with the stones, making one wonder if these ancient builders were among the earliest astronomers, setting stones to mark the passing of time, seasons, or perhaps something even more complex. Interestingly, if we look to the African savanna, we find the Nabta playa, which doesn't receive as much attention but is no less significant. This ancient stone circle is much older than Stonehenge and hints at astronomical alignments just as intriguing. Did these ancient societies look up to the sky and see patterns and stories that inspired them to build in a way that they believed would last for eons? As we keep traveling, we reach the lands of South America, home to the Incas and their carefully created stone structures. One key site is in Peru, near Cusco, with its massive stones perfectly fitted together without mortar. The stones jigsaw together so tightly that not even a thin blade of grass could slide between them. It's a reminder of the incredible skill and precision of ancient engineering. Yet, across the wide seas, in Japan, there's an ancient castle called Osaka, built with similarly fitted stones. Different times and cultures, yet similar methods. Why does such continuity of engineering appear independently yet similarly? We'll also find amazing earthworks, like the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio, USA, which winds across the ground with a precision that continues to baffle researchers. Debate surrounds the mound's age and purpose. Could it have been a calendar, a religious site, or something else entirely? Thousands of miles away, in Southeast Asia, the Khmers also constructed amazing earthworks along with their grand stone temples, like at Angkor Wat. These structures to suggest advanced knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and planning. As we pause, pondering all these questions, we reach a point where science and imagination intersect. Michael Shermer, a science historian, often says that humans are natural pattern seekers. When diverse cultures seem to echo each other's architectural styles, it's tempting to weave tales of ancient connections. But what if this pattern is less about transmitted knowledge and more about a shared human experience? Universal quest for meaning, driven by the same stars shining down on all of us, the same ground under our feet. What really ties these ancient builders together across continents could very well be a human desire to make sense of the world, to control space, express beliefs, and honor what they hold dear. It's like they each received a cosmic blueprint, not as a physical map, but as inspiration encoded in the very act of living. Science and archaeology continue to uncover surprising facets of our shared human history. Imagine the thrill of uncovering an ancient tablet that adds a piece to this global puzzle, or discovering an artifact that ties two seemingly separate cultures together. Perhaps, as we continue to dig deeper into our past, we will find even more clues about how ancient humans, in their extraordinary wisdom and creativity, succeeded in making these marks of endurance upon the earth. Our journey through history's enduring mysteries is far from over. With every discovery, we're reminded of the vast ocean of human history that's still largely uncharted. What we do know, however, is that those ancient architects, whomever they were and wherever they lived, have left behind a legacy. They captivate us even now, inviting us to peer deeper into the mystery of why similar structures dot the faces of different lands. Maybe, just maybe, in unraveling the past, we're weaving a narrative that connects us all in ways we've yet to fully understand. Chapter 7: Continental Copycats. Imagine for a moment you are walking through a dense jungle, and as you move aside thick vines and brush, you catch sight of something incredible. An ancient pyramid rising majestically through the canopy. Your mind might drift to Egypt's grand pyramids, but this is different. Maybe you're in the heart of the peninsula, standing before the Mayan marvels, far away from the sweeping sands of Giza, yet strikingly similar in grandeur. How curious it is that on different continents, without apparent contact for thousands of years, people built remarkably alike structures. But why? This idea of similarities sprouting independently in diverse corners of the world is a fascinating puzzle that scientists, historians, and archaeologists have been decoding piece by piece. Take pyramids, for instance. They have been crafted across different lands by the Mayans in Central America, the Egyptians in Africa, and even in places like China and Indonesia. Why pyramids? Some researchers believe that the simple answer might lie in the structure's inherent stability. When ancient builders wanted to reach the sky with their stone creations, a pyramid offered a reliable and robust shape. It's like ancient engineering 101. A wide base tapering to a point is naturally resilient, especially useful in societies without modern construction tools. These ancient builders were not copying each other, but rather responding similarly to universal human challenges, using the resources and knowledge available to them. It reminds us of how human innovation works, often in parallel without deliberate communication, driven by the same motivations and constraints. Aside from their structural similarities, these pyramids often aligned with a deep connection to the heavens, the sky, the stars, the cosmos. This celestial orientation speaks volumes about the shared human desire to understand the universe, to find meaning beyond the immediate and tangible. Just consider how these ancient cultures observed the stars, charting movements of the sun and moon, marking equinoxes and solstices, and embedding such knowledge into their monumental architecture. More surprising yet is the abundance of myths and stories found worldwide that mirror one another in strange and unexpected ways. Take, for instance, stories of great floods. From the Sumerians' epic tales to Native American lore, and even Hindu scriptures, we find stories of earth reclaiming waters wiping the slate clean, followed by rebirth and renewal. These tales, emerging independently, speak to humanity's shared relationship with nature's power, perhaps reflecting ancient memories of real climatic events or serving as moral parables. Additionally, across continents, you will find stone circles and megalithic constructions like those in Stonehenge, the Karnak stones in France, or the stone rings in Africa's Gambia and Senegal. Their purposes remain somewhat elusive, often tied to rituals, calendar systems, or sacred gatherings. The sheer effort required to build these massive structures without modern machinery underscores the weight of their significance to those who built them. Interestingly, DNA studies are now beginning to acknowledge some hidden connections between ancient people that could explain cultural parallels. Recent analyses have unearthed complex migration patterns, suggesting that people who belonged to seemingly isolated civilizations may have shared more interaction across time than previously thought. Such findings open the doors to imagining a more interconnected ancient world. The idea of shared human spirit and ingenuity across time and distance poses rich questions. How much of what we consider to be markers of cultural identity are actually facets of our common humanity? What motivates societies to create such enduring symbols of culture and knowledge? At what point do similar solutions stem from shared problems, rather than shared ideas? By examining these monumental similarities, scientists and historians tap into a grand narrative of human experience, showcasing not only our shared history, but our shared resilience and creativity. These sun-battered stones and forgotten stories remind us of an unseen tapestry, weaving continents and cultures together in ways that stretch the imagination and whisper the interconnectedness of all humanity. In piecing together such mysteries, we not only come to understand those who came before us, but also ourselves and our place in the world, a never-ending journey of discovery for the inquisitive wanderer. Chapter 8. The Geometry of Time. Human history is rife with mysteries that challenge our understanding of the world. One such mystery is the appearance of strikingly similar structures, like pyramids and stone circles, scattered across various continents. These structures, whether towering in the sands of Egypt, hidden in the jungles of Central America, or standing silently in the fields of Britain, pose a curious question about their origins and purposes. Their geometrical precision and celestial alignments suggest an understanding of time that transcends individual cultures and places. Let's explore how these ancient architects might have viewed and utilized time in ways that connect different parts of the world. When you stand in front of a pyramid, you can't help but feel a marvel of human achievement. Yet, what underscores their greatness is not just their monumental size, but how they were built in relation to the heavens. Ancient civilizations, it seems, had a unique way of merging geometry with cosmology. Many of these structures align with astronomical events, like the solstices and equinoxes. This hints at a sophisticated grasp of time marked by the movements of celestial bodies. Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's one of the most studied and yet enigmatic structures on the planet. Its precise alignment with the cardinal points of the compass and its proportions closely mirroring the golden ratio demonstrate a level of mathematical and astronomical understanding that stirs wonder. Researchers have noted how the pyramid might function as a kind of giant sundial, marking the solstices through the play of light and shadow. this wasn't just an Egyptian phenomenon. The ancient Mayans, thousands of miles away and across an ocean, built the pyramid of In-Its-Ah with similar attention to astronomical events. During the equinoxes, a shadow resembling a serpent slithers down the pyramid's steps as the sun sets, showing a deep relationship with time as a cycle. Time, for these ancient civilizations, wasn't merely a way to organize days. It was a divine order, reflected in the sky and mirrored on the earth through geometry. This cyclical perception of time was vital. Stone circles, like Stonehenge, are another testament to this idea. Located in England, Stonehenge captures the world's imagination with its massive stones and mysterious origins. While many theories abound regarding its purpose, what strikes most is its solar alignments. The summer solstice sees the sun rise in perfect alignment with the heelstone, framing a day considered sacred. Stonehenge, like pyramids, became a calendar carved in rock, aligning terrestrial and celestial events. But why these similar concepts on different continents? Some researchers suggest a shared cognitive leap in understanding among isolated cultures. Carl Sagan, in his seminal works, argued that certain ideas, such as the concept of zero or geometric properties shared by massive structures, are natural conclusions that human intelligence might reach independently when trying to make sense of the cosmos. Modern physics has intrigued us with the notion of time as another dimension, woven with space itself. Ancient peoples could not have known of Einstein's theories, but their structures suggest they sensed something more profound about time's role in the universe. It poses an interesting question. Did these early people intuit aspects of time's geometry that we are only now beginning to quantify? Anthropologists and archaeologists often emphasize that these architectural wonders were not just practical, they were spiritual and philosophical, embodying ideas far more complex than mere shelter or protection. The idea that time was something sacred, a cosmic balance that must be respected and understood, elevates these structures from human achievement to a shared inheritance of humankind's place in the universe. Even in today's world, where digital clocks and calendars govern every aspect of life, we sometimes lose sight of the sky and its rhythms. The increasing detachment from natural cycles can make us feel time is linear and elusive. Yet, these enduring structures pull us back, reminding us of a time when humanity lived in harmony with the world above, when they checked the movements of stars and planets to seek guidance and mark significant events. Have we fully unraveled the secrets held by these monumental structures? Each stone whispers stories of human connection, of a shared understanding transcending linguistic and geographic barriers, suggesting that perhaps was a binding clue to a larger puzzle. As our knowledge grows, so does our wonder at how much more there is to learn from these ancient architects. Each discovery beckons with the potential to add layers of understanding to how humans perceive time, and perhaps how we can learn to perceive it anew. Moving forward, as we continue to look to the skies and construct our understanding, both then and now, we might find answers hidden within these stone phrases echoing through the ages. Chapter 9. Deciphering the Code. Imagine standing in the heart of an ancient forest, the air filled with the earthy scent of centuries-old trees that tell stories of the past. Now picture these trees providing shelter to structures that look remarkably similar to those found on entirely different continents. It's a concept that sparks curiosity. Could there be a reasoning behind this architectural echo across the world? Historically, structures such as pyramids, mounds, and stone circles have been unearthed in various corners of the globe. These constructions are not just similar in appearance, they often share purpose and method, leading some to wonder if there is a universal force or knowledge at play. Scientific inquiry takes us by the hand here on this meandering journey, to examine these recurring designs through the lens of archaeology, anthropology, and the natural sciences. Pyramids are one of the most intriguing examples, soaring into the sky from Egypt to Mexico, even as far as Sudan and Indonesia. While it's easy to let the mind wander into realms of forgotten civilizations and hidden worlds, what if practical needs and environmental design influenced these choices? To start, think about their sturdy form. The pyramid shape provides stability, a critical factor in regions prone to natural disasters. Erosion, earthquakes, and the wear and tear of time are less impactful on these angled designs, allowing them to endure through ages. Significantly, the alignment of these pyramids often corresponds with celestial patterns. The Great Pyramid of Giza aligns with the cardinal points accurately, while the Pyramid of the Sun aligns with the setting sun on specific days of the year. Is this a coincidence or a shared understanding of astronomy? Consider the findings of some studies indicating that early societies were keen observers of the sky, using the stars for farming calendars, navigation, and spiritual guidance. Such evidence suggests experienced stargazers might have influenced pyramid placement worldwide. Another fascinating discovery involves earthen mounds. Man-made hills constructed from soil and stones can be found in places like North America, Ireland, and Japan. Their purpose ranges from burial sites to ceremonial centers. What ties them together is how societies have carefully chosen and shaped the soil, often placing these mounds near water and fertile land. These advantages offered a community center and claimed sacred landscapes for generations to come. Think also of the stone circles dotting landscapes from Britain to Africa and South America. These awe-inspiring rings often incorporate massive stones carefully transported over great distances, a task which required intricate knowledge of engineering and social cooperation. Many of these formations align with solar and lunar events, suggesting their builders placed significant cultural importance on the cosmos. Yet, not all interpretations lie in ancient cosmologies and practicality. Recent archaeological projects point towards socio-cultural reasons. The sharing of trade routes could have facilitated an exchange of ideas and techniques. Ferocious travelers and traders carrying goods might have also carried stories and blueprints. This cultural exchange would have allowed builders from different regions to adopt new methods that seemed effective, thus creating similar architectural solutions. Modern science adds further depth to our understanding by deploying advanced technology. Ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, and DNA analysis reveal unexpected connections. For instance, genetically analyzing plant remains has shown similar cropping methods and botanical utilization across distances that earlier civilizations might have traversed. This supports the theory of migratory paths and how interconnected different societies may have been. While exploring this human history puzzle, we're invited to consider not just the scientific facts, but the questions they raise. Do these recurring structures hint at a shared memory, a deep understanding embedded within human consciousness? Or are we simply connecting dots where convenience and necessity align with innovation? By piecing together clues from stone fragments and ancient texts, we're on a captivating quest that touches on art, science, and mystery. Each discovery builds upon the last, weaving a narrative that challenges our understanding of history. It calls upon us not just to look back on past civilizations with wonder, but also to question our perception of human ingenuity and perseverance. What stands undoubtedly clear is that this journey across continents and through time stokes a flame of exploration, urging us to continue decoding the past. One artifact, one structure at a time. As we dig deeper into this global tapestry, the ongoing dialogue between the land, the skies, and the ancient architects awaits our discovery. Surely, in these stories of earth and stone, we find echoes of our ambition, unity, and the eternal pursuit to understand the world. Chapter 10. Structures Beyond Boundaries. Imagine taking a journey, not just across the world, but across time itself. Picture for a moment that you're visiting ancient sites, standing among ruins, with stones that have been carefully placed by hands long gone. It almost feels like there's a hidden connection between them, as if these forgotten places whisper secrets of the past. And what if I told you that similar structures stand on different continents, built by civilizations that never met? Let's start by exploring a shared architectural wonder we all know well: pyramids. They're not only in Egypt, where they majestically rise from the desert sands. You can find them in Mesoamerica, with the famous step pyramids of the Maya and Aztec. You might even stumble upon pyramidal structures in ancient China or scattered across Sudan, rising quietly in the middle of fields. While these structures look different in style, their shared geometric form captures our curiosity. Why would so many cultures, separated by vast distances and oceans, build pyramids? Some scholars suggest it's simply a matter of practicality. After all, a pyramid shape is stable. Its wide base ensures structural integrity, making it a robust shape for building tall. Another theory states that these civilizations believed pyramids served as stairs to the heavens or as sacred mountains, bringing them closer to their gods. Let's not forget Stonehenge in England, with its massive stone circles that have captured imaginations for centuries. Similar stone circles and megalithic alignments are also scattered across the globe. From the stunningly precise Göbekli Tepe in Turkey to remote stone configurations in Africa, these sites might not be as well known, but they share intriguing commonalities in their purpose and construction. Many theories abound about Stonehenge and its cousins. Some suggest they were ancient calendars or places for rituals. Recent discoveries have revealed that the stones align with solstices, hinting at humanity's early fascination with the cosmos. Our ancestors might have been far more in tune with the sky than we ever imagined. If we dig deeper, we find cultural connections hidden in myths and legends. For instance, numerous ancient cultures narrate stories of cataclysmic floods, from the tale of Noah's Ark to the tales from Mesopotamia and beyond. These narratives often feature divine intervention, survival, and the rebirth of civilization. Could these shared stories influence similar architectural endeavors? The links, while difficult to prove, suggest that early societies might have been interconnected in ways we've yet to fully comprehend. Consider, too, the similarities in statues like the Moai of Easter Island and the stone figures found in parts of Colombia. Giant faces carved from stone, looking out silently over the land. These sculptures, although crafted by distinct cultures, exhibit shared themes of reverence and respect for ancestors or deities, suggesting a common human desire to immortalize values we hold dear. Let's delve into intriguing symbols like spirals, cross motifs, and animals that appear in different forms but carry similar meanings worldwide. Spirals carved in rock art across continents might represent life cycles or the sun's path. These motifs suggest an underlying unity in the human quest to understand and express life, death, and the universe. Now, you might be wondering if these similarities happen by chance, or if something deeper connects them. Some researchers propose that these architectural echoes stem from shared human experiences and needs, a natural tendency to respond to our environments, to seek the divine, and to protect our communities. With parallel challenges, similar solutions might emerge independently. Science can help us uncover some answers. Archaeological discoveries backed by carbon dating have refined our understanding of construction timelines. Radiocarbon dating, isotopic analysis, and more recent technologies, like drone mapping and ground-penetrating radar, have offered clearer pictures of these ancient wonders, stripping away layers of mystery one stone at a time. Moreover, the understanding of cultural exchanges plays a significant role. Early forms of connection, long before the Silk Road or oceanic explorations, might have sparked a flow of ideas in ways we haven't fully unraveled. Genetic studies and linguistic analyses offer further clues, hinting at human migrations that brought new knowledge and creativity across barriers. As we uncover more truths about these structures, we can't help but marvel at humanity's shared legacy. We stand on the shoulders of creative minds from eons ago, united in our collective quest to build, to dream, and to touch the stars. Our ancestors, as architects of their time, have left behind a fascinating mosaic of human intent and ingenuity for us to piece together. The story continues as new discoveries invite us to rethink and redefine the boundaries of our known history. With every turn of a spade and flash of technological insight, we refine our understanding of these ancient builders who, despite oceans and mountains, may not have been so different from each other or from us. We are bound together, now as then, by the same fundamental questions, the same eternal quest for knowledge and meaning.